We're testing a Swedish crossover in its natural habitat. I'm Steph. And this is Modern Motoring. Time for another cute ute. This one is the 2023 Volvo XC40, and we're in the Ultimate trim, which is the top of the line. And let's tell you about it.
I think this is going to be one of the last gasoline. No, I know this is going to be one of the last gasoline XC40s because there's an XC40 recharge. There's a C40 recharge. It's for the right person who's brand loyal.
Okay.
So 2023, there's a tiny cosmetic difference up front with the bumper. There is a very fractional change to the headlights and the grille. It's just like...
It's basically a carryover model, but I mean, I like the Volvo look in general, and just looking at this thing from the outside, I've got no issues with it. I think it looks good.
Okay. So...
The problem is that some of the things that create the look contribute to some of the problems with the car when you actually go to drive it.
Right. So overall on the outside, like I said, it looks fine. There's a $1,000 option for 20-inch wheels, which this has. But I don't think I'd take that.
Right.
I would probably go for my aftermarket wheels. It's kind of unassuming, like Volvo always has been. I kind of like the washer nozzles integrated into the wipers. They're heated. It's stout.
Stout, okay. It's like...
I know, but the X1 doesn't look like that. The RDX doesn't look like that.
True.
The NX doesn't look like that. The GLB doesn't look like that. I know. Give me a wagon.
Transition to talking about the inside by pointing out the fact that the C-pillar design and the rear window design is really quite wide. The pillar itself is quite wide, and it stops pretty short.
Very Mazda 3 hatchback.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
I don't mind the look of the Mazda. I have the same issue as you. When I do a shoulder check, it's a lot of
a whole lot of pillars and not a lot of window. And that's interesting because often your seating position is further enough back you can get around the B pillar, and it's only the C pillar that's a problem. But even you are having issues with it.
Now the other thing regarding vision is the rear view mirror. It is very close to my face.
Yeah, I found the same thing.
Exceptionally close to my face. And I get it because the Volvo safety system is behind it. But if Subaru can do their eyesight thing and push the mirror back, actually if everybody else who's got these sensors up at the top of the windshield that's centered can do it, screen, just it's bad. It's not good. I don't want to say any more words other than that. There's a TikTok and Instagram reel and all the whatever vertical social media platforms we have.
You're right.
I did it with gloves on, and it took multiple stabs and multiple fingers to get it to work.
If it's not negative 15 degrees out, and if you have an Android phone, this system's pretty good.
I completely agree.
Yes. I used to have an Android phone, and I used to love these systems because they're Google built, and the phone integrates so seamlessly with it. But we both have iPhones, and it's terrible.
The seats are weird.
I love them. I'm a big fan of Volvo seats in general, and Volvo seats are legendary. So where are you going with this?
No, it's just I can't find a good spot for comfort for me, and I usually can't. The seat back and bottom where they meet, just it doesn't feel right. So I was fidgeting and using all the controls, and I'm 7 out of 10 comfortable.
Really?
Yeah. But Volvo's my benchmark for seats as well.
Yeah.
Between them and, strangely, Nissan with the reserve gravity stuff.
Those are very good too, yeah. There are some things that are really well thought out and cool in this. I love the little purse hook. I guess they call it a curry hook. Is that racist?
It's on the Volvo campus site, so...
A little garbage bin down here, which is kind of handy.
Gimmicky.
I like it.
I would just put a plastic bag and hang my garbage from that.
But then it's swinging around all the time. You don't like clutter, so I think you wouldn't do that.
I just wouldn't keep garbage in the car. In the trunk, you can configure the cargo space to get 2 separate spots. The front part can be your Wendy's, and the back part can be your garbage.
You guys are learning all about his favorite fast food things today.
Big panoramic sunroof, lets lots of light in. Happy with that. I don't mind the dark interior. And I think that's about it for me. The screen I don't like, the seats I'm not a big fan of, and the mirrors being too close to my face. This is great for drivers, but it's terrible if you're shooting B-roll. And you have to have this sense of symmetry.
Because that's the problem everyone has.
If everyone said that. So the screen is tilted towards the driver, which is good and great and fine. It's more noticeable than other cars that I've noticed it in.
That's fair. I like it as a driver when the infotainment screen is tilted toward me slightly. It gives me a better chance of being able to reach the whole screen with my short little arms. Sometimes if they're flush, I can't reach as well all the way to the far side. So.
And to have them not work with your gloves on.
Right.
As Steph gets ready to go on the highway, we'll give you some power numbers, and there are 2 engines. Get this one. It is a 2-liter turbo 4, 247 horsepower, 258 pound-feet of torque, all through an 8-speed automatic transmission. All-wheel drive is standard in Canada. If you feel the need for front-wheel drive, you got to go to America. It's snowing, roads have not been salted, so we're not going to go into our full all-out. And last thing is there are no drive modes.
Right.
Over to you.
Take it or leave it. Yeah, I can't really punch it like you said because of the road conditions, but I did earlier in the week. And it's a little bit surprising to me that this is the higher powered of the 2 powertrains that are available with the XC40 because it doesn't feel exceptionally powerful.
For comparison, there is a smaller tuned 2-liter turbo 4 in the B4 trim, and that gets you 194 horsepower, 221 pound-feet of torque. It's not all about power.
No.
And maybe we're speaking out of possibly being spoiled with 2 new cars a week for almost a decade. For this, I don't know, it's a little more.
So I don't think my issue with this powertrain is the power. I think once you are up and getting going and sort of like at speed, it's not too bad. I think my issue with it is more the throttle response at lower speeds.
There's a turbo lag, and it gets a little weird and confused.
Yeah.
Between, for me anyway, between 2, 3, 3, 4, sometimes 4 or 5. But like you said, once you get into the top half, it figures itself out. Part of my issue with that as well is it's not always going to be one person in the vehicle.
Right.
Or 2 people. You throw some stuff and things and gear, maybe a couple of other people, and the power to weight ratio kind of just, you know. Some
of Volvo's engines have a supercharger and a turbocharger. And those ones feel great from low speed. Yeah, because the supercharger gets them going, and then the turbocharger helps keep good access to the full torque at low revs.
Yep.
This does not have the supercharging. It's only got the turbocharging. So that's part of it maybe, is that the expectation for us when we get into a Volvo is that we're going to have some of that low speed pickup. And I think the transmission is the other part of the issue. I think it's just not geared for that lower speed pickup.
So I'm going to say something that is going to make all of this irrelevant.
Okay.
Volvo's pushing to be all electric by 2030.
Right.
So I don't think this, I think this gasoline engine will sit tight in this car for, say, 2027.
Right.
But since there's already an XC40 EV out there, it's easier to phase this out. But if you still want the gasoline version, then it's here. On average, it's about $18,000 more for each trim, the Core, the Plus, and the Ultimate, to go from gasoline to EV.
You don't make that up in rebates.
No, not anywhere. Speaking of numbers, let's go through some fuel figures. So all 3 trims get a 54-liter fuel tank. Got to put 91 in. Premium life, right? 10.2 in the city, 7.9 on the highway, and 9.2 combined.
There's no excuse for that in a car this small.
I know.
We're averaging 11.4 right now over 225 kilometers. Like, that's...
And I took this for a long, consistent 80-kilometer drive for about 115 kilometers. Like one of my regular test routes. So that lowered it. So I can't imagine what it would be like if I just did regular city driving.
Yeah. It's really hard to recommend this car to anyone when the new BMW X1 exists.
Which non-luxury brand would you put this in line with?
I'd look at a Seltos.
So there are 3 trims. There's the Core, the Plus, and the Ultimate. So pricing wise, this is your starting price. It's $42,250 for the Core. The Plus runs you $49,450, and what we're in without options is $55,600. Our as tested is $58,150, and what brings us from the $55,600 to the as tested is the $1,000 wheel option, the $1,000 climate option, the 450 pixel LED option, and then every Volvo you order, you're going to tack on $2,315 for your freight and PDI.
I think there are so many other options in this segment. Some of them are more expensive, but they give you enough more value to be worth it. Some of them are not as expensive and have their own things to bring to the table that meet this where it is. I would recommend a V60, a V90 over an SUV every day of the week. And I like the XC90 too, but I just don't think this achieves what it's trying to in the subcompact SUV market.
There are a lot of competitors I would look at first.
Thanks so much for watching, and if you haven't already, please hit that little button down there that helps you subscribe so that you don't miss any more of our video reviews. And you can find us on social media as well. We're on all the major platforms. We love hearing from you. Please leave us your questions and your comments, and we'll get back to you. Thanks for watching.